Get us another 4 cups and then we'll be jumping off the walls and then we'll be hanging on top of the ceiling and everything.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah. Cheers.
Oh, interesting. I like this.
Nice lager.
Yeah?
Yeah.
German lager, crisp, clean.
Very easy to drink. A bit too easy to drink.
No, but if if we watch your video that you just put out, I shouldn't even give you beer, but you guys are more champagne kind of style band, right?
Yes.
We're very fancy type
You're
of punks.
more fancy, yeah. I do apologize for making you drink some beers.
Oh man. If only it was $20 beers, then I would be so much happier. Usually I can't go wrong with just a regular lager, anything that's plain and simple, but these days I've been like kind of experimenting with IPAs, just something a bit more sour, just to get my taste buds going. Like after having a lot of shitty beers, you know, some Blue Ribbons, it's like good to have like one nice IPA that's like kind of counteracts all that bad taste.
I would say it's kind of seasonal for me. I like my heavier beers like stouts and darker beers in the wintertime. But I will drink a lager in the summertime,
Perfect.
Especially if I'm jamming.
Yeah. Because all you of Earth are idiots.
It's pretty much, yeah, the human race is all idiots, and that's why we gotta destroy, that's why it's all about destruction and how the human race is kind of stupid at times.
Yes. A certain amount of shame that comes along with an alien species passing judgment on us, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a shame we kind of fucking deserve at this point.
Yeah. You kind of basically expect that when aliens do come by, they'll be like, no thank you.
They're going to be disgusted.
They're gonna
by
be
this
like,
shit.
they just have no idea what to even think of like our history in general. If they read everything that we've ever done, they'd be like, what the fuck have these guys been doing? Whoopsie daisy.
I would. That's a good question. I would say it's you would almost call it an accidental art film at that point. It's almost like it's so incompetent that it becomes it hyperspaces and becomes like an actual art film.
Yeah.
Like a surreal art film. So that's kind of the part that interests us, is that you can have a film that so completely fails on every level that it actually succeeds. And becomes surrealism.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. There's a lot of bands that would probably fit
well
into.
said, man.
I mean, like this band Middle Class, like when their first release in '79, that's like it's such a fast like EP for the time, and those guys probably didn't think to themselves like, we're gonna make a whole new genre. They were just like, oh, we're just playing this,
and they were not good musicians, and they basically just went strictly on soul.
Yeah.
And they came up with a whole new genre. A lot of people say that that's the original hardcore punk band.
Yes.
You definitely get that malty flavor, right?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Kind of like a little sweet. I really like that in a beer.
Very sweet, absolutely, yeah. Maybe
very
less, as they say in Canada, crushable than the first one we had.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is something that I would maybe slow down a bit to enjoy a bit more.
Yeah, I love it. It's probably perfect for the time of year. Although I find that I do closer to lagers if I'm going to drink lagers, which I don't generally find that interesting. Then I'll drink them in the summer, like in the backyard kind of thing, or with the band. the slime first, I mean, I personally have had multiple experiences with multiple musicians as different incarnations of the slime. But I would say in the last 3 years is when we solidified this lineup, which has been obviously the most important and most effective lineup. And we have like completely gone. We've ticked all our boxes on our
bucket list of a band. Like we first released online, and then we got onto the record label Cursed Blessings, and now our albums on vinyl and cassette. And we've played a lot of shows. We played outside of Toronto. We even did a house show a few weeks ago, and that was amazing. And honestly, it feels like we've checked a lot of the boxes that most bands wish they can do, but at this point, I feel like we can still keep going.
We kind of set out to do basically what we would describe as a first wave hardcore, early 80s, a lot of like the Discord stuff and the early Agnostic Front. But then we ended up switching it up for what we would describe as more of a crossover kind of style. We've gone more towards thrash, and that was not really on purpose. It just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened, really. And generally, like prior to the Slime and any project I've kind of participated in, it's always more lenient towards metal in general. And this is actually kind of the first time I've been in a band where it's a bit more punk, and it's interesting for me to kind of experiment and still like dive into that hardcore punk ethos, I guess. But then still have the metal influence like while you're still playing, because it's like something that you can't really get rid of once you've like when you grow up on that, and that's all you've been learning since you're like a kid.
Well, he was gonna come out, but he wasn't able to make it because he'd done like a pretty large amount of pills, and
he's currently passed out in the basement right now. God doing what knows what drugs, drinking God knows what kind of alcohol. But yeah, Zappy is an interesting story. It's so originally, from what I remember anyway, Derek just brought in this image of like this ghoul with a snake coming out of its mouth, and we were like, this is so cool. And then we were like, this is our mascot now. And I think I brought up the name Zappy mainly because it's like a slight reference to Frank Zappa. Okay. Like, because I think there's like a song called "I Am the Slime." Yeah. And we were like, yeah, that's a funny little reference, even though we're not exactly the biggest Zappa fans, but it's like. It's a neat little reference if you understand it.
That's awesome. I mean, and by the way, like, hey, if there was ever a punk, it would have been Frank Zappa.
Exactly.
Yeah, cheers. And get that roasted flavor there.
Oh yeah. I can feel the double beer already. It's lovely. It's great.
I mean, my goal is to have you guys underneath the table.
Well, get us another 4 cups, and then we'll be jumping off the walls, and then we'll be hanging on top of the ceiling and everything.
There is no lines in the sand. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. Actually,
there's no lines in the sand. We all like all different types of abrasive, subversive music. So we're able to do, that's what keeps this band successful, is we're able to just fucking go into any other subgenre. We pop into, we're all into like noise rock and no wave.
Generally, I feel like when we're writing songs, it's almost very like free. Like one of us will bring up a riff, and Derek will usually like just join in, see what works. And it's like we have like reggae song, and then we have like D-beat song. It's almost like we like going into any direction. It's like we could just somehow make it work. Like take a riff from like any genre, and
we're genre fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. In my experience in like most punk scenes, it can be very gatekeeping. But like, in my opinion, it's not always about the music that makes you more of a punk. It's usually your attitude towards making the music, and that's like the way I see it. It's like we just don't care. We just don't care. We do what we like to do, and we just make it noisy, loud, fast, and angry.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, that's how we manage to like kind of slip into that, like through all the gatekeepers and the elites who would say that no, these guys aren't punk at all. These guys are metal nerds who are just trying to wank on their guitar.
So our main influences have been from the first wave of hardcore. So that'd be looking at like, so we're looking at like the most of the music that we are influenced by making the slime stuff exists between like 79 and 19.
And usually those releases like tend to be very short, but they're to the point, and that's what makes them so good and so replayable. It's just like, wow, it's so short, I want to listen to this again, and it's like, listen to it again and again and again. And generally that's kind of like how we treat our music. It's like if it drags on for too long, then it just doesn't feel right. And it's
the truth of most rock and roll, but it's specifically true of the more extreme forms of rock and roll. If you go too long, that's death.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you gotta do. You wanna do is bore people.
Yeah, because you can only go so far with heavy riff for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the same energy as you will have when they're listening to it. So that's why like we like to keep it very short, so that we're in the zone, and that the people who are listening are also just in the same zone that we are.
And people are, it's a bit cliched, but people are waiting for more.
Right.
At the end.
Cheers, boys.
So this is an oatmeal stout, so it's going to be very malty, very layered, right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. The taste, just you feel it change from the first sip to the
it's like the first sip, it's like the taste comes in a bit, but then it's like after a few seconds, it's like you can feel that. You say it was oatmeal, right? Or
oatmeal stout, yeah.
Yeah. Two of them were clearly my favorite, but if I had to go with one that I'm gonna be drinking for a whole show, I'm gonna have to go with the lager, the very first lager that we had. That's gonna be my choice.
Derek, you're nodding, and it's also the one that is completely empty on your end.
Well, yes. Well, it's because it's a lager. That's the reason it's empty. But I'm gonna choose the stout. It's my favorite because
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's very rich and beautiful.
Man, fuck, God, you're putting us on the spot here. Even I feel like
the slime beer is going to be like a sort of an English style ale, whereas a bit of color, but not excessive hoppiness.
Because I find that a lot of band beers in general, it's like they have to really get that unique taste, so they have to go to the extreme. I remember the Motorhead beer. We Are the Road Crew or something?
Yeah.
Let's just have the Motorhead beer.
Huh?
Let's just do the Motorhead beer.
Just you'll hear
sticker on it.
The answer is the Motorhead beer.
A lot of moshing, a lot of drinking, a lot of screaming, and a lot of fun. That's mainly what you can expect from
a lot of hanging out in the back alley and possibly being arrested.
That too. And doing some things that maybe I'm not allowed to see on camera.
So we have enough material for another EP. I don't see us releasing anything that would be considered a full length. I mean, never say die on that, but generally speaking, the type of music we play and the state of kind of people on the internet and the state of people on social media is that it's a short attention span. which we are fully willing to accommodate.
Obviously, for the future, I do believe that we're gonna still keep releasing music and still keep it in the same vein as we usually do it. We keep just experimenting with riffs and genres that we enjoy and whatever's just in our minds, and then putting that into our music, into a hardcore kind of environment, and then just giving it to the people, and hopefully they like it.
So with that, the only thing that for me is left to do is kind of finally move in image here and do one last cheer with you guys. Thank you for coming out all the way to the East End. There
Oh,
you go.
it's an honor to be here just to drink beers and
Cheers.
cheers.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.